sex, pornography, what is normal? What experiences do you have that shape what you view as normal? And what experiences do you have that make you feel like you have permission to do one thing or another sexually? When I was 17, I met a guy at my job. I was working at a pizza shop. He was 21, and he was a manager there. And my last day of work, he gave me his phone number, and we started having text conversations. And that was my first boyfriend. Prior to that, I had some online interactions with people from my high school, and I had basically no experience having like an in-person relationship. So I unfortunately grew up from a very young age seeing media and having this kind of interaction with people where, you know, you have text messages, and then once I was about 18, it was relatively normal to send photos via cell phone. So me and my ex-boyfriend, when we were not in the room together, when we weren't able to have sex together, we would send naked pictures to each other and masturbate. And obviously the text messages that accompanied that were sexual in nature. So I think people commonly refer to this as sexting. So I had experience with sexting from a pretty young age, and that's what I thought was normal. I thought that was, part of a normal sexual relationship for adults. And also, me and my ex-boyfriend, we recorded hardcore pornography. Oh my gosh. Can I start
Freudian
over?
slip. It's good. It's a great take.
Yeah. So, yeah, just setting up his laptop, filming each other having sex in bed, vaginal sex.
Right.
And also,
Right.
with his phone, he would record me sucking his dick. And
you did watch this stuff and masturbate to it.
Yeah.
Sorry, filming is one thing, but a huge part of your life as a teenager was masturbating, watching porn.
Yeah.
But that's surprising to me because you lied to me about it for 7 years. Like 99% of people that's true of. But me, you lied to. Go on.
Yeah, and I think even in recent videos, I misled the audience by saying that, oh, I don't watch porn, and oh, I don't have much experience with masturbation.
Right. You said you could barely have one orgasm.
Barely have one orgasm, yeah.
From porn, right? Yeah.
I have cringed thinking about that because I was lying. I have not been honest. Yes, from very early childhood, I was masturbating. I had a television in my room, a television set, and MTV music videos used to be quite erotic for me, even from a very young age.
True that.
So yeah, I would say going back to age 9, age 10. And then, I was living in the age of the internet. I was born in 1992. So by the time I was a teenager, I could go on the internet, and I used to watch porn on Tumblr. It was a lot of images and also GIFs, like moving images, but no sound.
So this is the thing. I want to just jump between what was normal for you as a teenager,
Yeah.
and your university years,
Yeah.
and what was normal for you in our relationship in the last 7 years, because you presented yourself to me in such a punitive, sex negative way. You made it clear you are the one woman in the world who does not accept pornography at all. You hate all other women who appear in pornography, including one friend of mine. I had a female friend. She'd been a model. She'd been in porn. She'd done that kind of stuff. We were only friends. You hated her. You hated all women who would ever do anything like that. You were superior to them, and you were superior to me. You were like hating on me. There was a lot of negativity towards me. So this is the contradiction. This is the paradox for me. Like, you could have been honest and open about this, but instead you lied to me. You were really cruel to me about this. And the men you were honest with were the men you were cheating on me with. The men you cheated on me with, men, and you said to them openly, look, I'm this kind of girl. This is what turns me on. This is what I want to do. and you spent hours and hours masturbating, looking at videos they sent you, these other men that you were cheating on me with. There are other videos. It was really cheating. And during those same years, you were lying to me as if you had never masturbated watching porn once. This was totally alien to you. Like, you were totally unfamiliar. Oh, I've literally heard you say, I've like barely ever seen a pornography. Oh, I'm so unfamiliar. And you claimed that you didn't know how to masturbate. You couldn't have an orgasm masturbating. You could barely, you presented me with a complex web of lies.
Okay.
For 7 years.
But the thing is,
right.
I agree, and you're right. You're right.
And you put a lot of time and energy into that. It wasn't like one thing you said once. It's something you said to me again and again and again. Go on.
But there is a minor caveat here.
Right.
About actually the physical experience of masturbation for me. How you stimulate yourself. So when I was young, I didn't just use my fingers on my clitoris.
Right.
There was I didn't know how to masturbate, and I used like my forearm between my legs, and so just the pressure on the clitoris, like from that surface, you know what I mean. So it is the case that I have not been good at like the manual stimulation with my fingers.
Right. Okay,
and,
fair enough.
Yeah, and so that did change at a certain point, and I can't say that it was the start of our relationship. I can't say it was in my relationship with my ex-boyfriend.
Look, we have one friend.
But I will just say it too. I have never owned a dildo. I've never put anything into my vagina this way. I didn't. It's not an excuse. Like nothing. There's no excuse for lying about this. It's bad. It's wrong. I should have been honest. I'm
the only guy you lied to. You were honest with your first boyfriend, the guy you were with before me, and you were honest with the men you cheated on me with. You said to these other men, "This is what I want. This is what turns me on. This is what's sexy to me." Right? And you did it. You spent many, many hours. I've looked at the timestamps. There were days where you spent 5 hours a day. Like, this is the thing. It's partly cheating we're talking about.
It's all day.
I've got to finish my sentence. It is partly pornography addiction.
Yeah.
It's partly like internet addiction, pornography addiction, right?
Yeah.
You were spending like 5 hours a day, sometimes more, filming yourself and masturbating, watching this guy and his videos with you, like him watching him masturbating, watching the videos of you, hours and hours and hours a day, week after week, month after month. It's not just cheating. It's also a kind of pornography addiction, which to me is the most shocking thing, because you presented me with this totally fictional character who's never masturbated, who has never watched porn, who intensely hates any woman who would ever do that, and so on.
Yes. That must be so shocking, and this has been a week of shocking revelation after shocking revelation for Eisel. Really, it's 7 years of him realizing what a bad person I am and how much he regrets having spent any time with me. I am so sorry. I have been lying. I
didn't choose that character. I never said to you, I want you to pretend to be a librarian who has never watched pornography, who has never masturbated. You could have come into this relationship saying to me, Zell, I'm going to make your wildest fantasies come true. Zell, I'm confident with my own sexuality. Zell, I know what it's like to do hardcore porn. I know what it's like to do softcore porn, to share photos. I can do this for you. When I'm not in town with you, I can send you this video of my ass or whatever it's going to be. And Zell, I'm cool with doing 2 ways and 3 ways and 4 ways and whatever. You invented this character in your mind, which is completely fake. You invented this character of this incredibly punitive, sex-negative person that you pretended to be, and you only pretended to be her for me.
I hear you, and I can only imagine what it would be like to be in a relationship with somebody who is puritanical this way, who is trying to make you feel bad for your sexuality.
You would make
I
me
am
feel
so
bad.
sorry.
You would make me feel bad for looking at another woman. You would make me feel bad for talking to another woman. You would make me feel bad for walking past another woman. You would make me feel bad for just like knowing what pornography is and that it exists. It's not a significant part of my life. I really don't. Whatever. Do I watch pornography for 5 minutes a week? Pornography I spend less time on than Pac-Man. Like, it's just not a big deal to me. But all of that I had to be punished for, humiliated for. You had to inflict, like, trauma. You had to fucking traumatize me again and again for my sexuality. Even if it's just that we walk past a woman on the street, I don't talk to her, I don't even look at her. The fact that a beautiful woman exists that walk, you were that negative. And again, you hated people. You hated other women for doing the same thing you'd done that was normal for you since you were a teenager.
Yeah, yes, there are no excuses. I am. I am realizing my whole life is a lie, and I am so sorry that I have lied to Eisel about this. I'm so sorry I've lied to myself and others. It is the truth. I grew up Christian. I went to church every Sunday. Okay, I grew up with ideas of what it meant, what sexual purity meant, that I should be a virgin until marriage, and I also grew up with other influences. I wasn't in such a strict Christian household that I mentioned MTV
Right.
music videos, my parents probably should have been concerned, and I do remember late at night, if you turn on the television,
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, all that stuff, right?
Well, late night, I remember on television there was an advertisement for VHS tapes of Girls Gone Wild,
Right.
which the women are pulling up their shirts and showing their breasts. So, yeah, that was very erotic, and I masturbated from a young age to that, and my parents should have been concerned about that. They should have taught me about sexuality this way, but why I'm saying I wasn't sexually confident is because I was not sexually confident. I wasn't confident in this at all, and the particular
Okay.
I have to say this.
Yeah.
I had very little conversation with people about sexuality. I had no older cousins that talked to me about sex, like their sexual experiences, and very few experiences in which girls would talk to me about sex, and so that this is part of it. And when I actually lost my virginity to my first boyfriend, I was 18 years old, and I didn't even tell him I was a virgin. He was very surprised because the first time we had sex, there was a ton of blood. I had broken my hymen. That his penis broke my hymen. Okay, and I was just stupid. Ignorance does not make you a better person. Of course I should have been prepared for this. Of course I should have done more reading on this, and I should have, I had access to the internet. I could have read people's experience losing their virginity. I could have read about normal consent rules, and I should have been doing so much more to be going through sexual maturity in a healthy, normal way. But I didn't. I was in this household in which my own mother was quite how can I say it? She was not somebody who was very confident in herself and her how she looked. She didn't feel like she was a sexy person. She didn't feel she was beautiful. She had her own experience in high school, in which she was ugly and dorky and had acne, had braces, and I went through the same thing,
Okay.
No,
I want to call bullshit. There's a difference between what's real and what's fake. There's a difference between the mask and the face. Okay? And here's the truth. I've seen the text messages of her cheating on me with these guys. I've seen the videos, seen the photos. You are going up to these guys and you are being 100% self-confident. And you're saying, hey, I'm a crazy slut. This is what I want to do. I'm going to send you porn videos. You're going to send porn videos. You're going to film your cock. I'm going to film my pussy. And this is what you want. And you spent hours and hours masturbating to this. Okay? That's how you acted with them.
Yes.
And the irony is, just like the first week you talked to me or something, like the very beginning, that's how you were with me, and then you switched into this other persona. Like, I don't want to get into details, but at the very beginning, you did send me nude images of yourself. I think you figured out. Look, for whatever reason, you switched into, maybe you switched into imitating your mother as a different character.
Isol's response to my naked images left me feeling rejected, left me feeling that he didn't actually think I was beautiful.
Right, but it's not that. It's that I didn't want you to send me naked images. That, like, a lot of women respond that way to a dick pic also. It's like, look, it's not that I'm rejecting you, but now I know you're the kind of guy who would send me a dick pic, so I don't want you. Right.
You did say positive things about my pussy. You did say that I have...
Right, but you figured it out.
Yes.
You figured out that this is not... Right, for me, this is not normal. For you, this is normal, and something you actually desire and enjoy, right?
Well, now that I actually talk it through, and now that you've shown me all those text messages, I didn't go back and read them. I saved them. Now that I've looked at the videos, I am just, like, really disgusted by it. And I wouldn't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. I have talked with you for many hours about flattery. I've talked to you for many hours about actually, like, living with the reality of human sexuality and human desire, and I don't want to engage in this kind of behavior again. I don't want to send naked photos to people. I don't want people to only be interested, or primarily interested because they want to tell me that I'm beautiful. I think it's destructive for me. It's been an addiction for me. It's been very, very hurtful to Isol. It's ruined his life.
I just want to stop on the word addiction for one moment, for the benefit of the audience. But if positions were reversed, if your boyfriend were waking up in the morning earlier than you to sneak away to the bathroom at 8 a.m. and film himself masturbating and send it to another woman he's cheating on you with, it's not open, it's not polyamorous, it's not honest. If your boyfriend is waking up early in the morning, not having sex with you, but masturbating to film it to someone else, if your boyfriend is some days staying up till 11:30 p.m. or midnight to do the same thing, to do this kind of pornography with this other person he's cheating on you with, right? And sometimes in the middle of the day, audience, here's the plot twist. That's what Melissa was doing for like 2 years. For 2 years. Okay? Is that an addiction?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
You found it hard to quit. I know that.
I found it hard to quit. Yeah. That literally in the last 24 hours, this is what we've been talking about, and I have been concerned about compulsive behavior in my life. I have been concerned about addictive behavior. Before I met Isol, I used marijuana. I drank alcohol. I took an antidepressant. So I did not learn how to cope well with life, and what coping mechanism you use to cope with life. I have used drugs. I have used alcohol. I have used sex in this way, and it's bad. It's bad.
Okay, I have another hypothetical for you. Do you want to go?
Yeah. I want to say something else too, and I hope it's relevant to this.
Do it.
Okay, so you've talked about how this is a persona that I've put on, and this difficulty with you accepting that, like, when we first got together, I sent you nude images. I got the impression that you found you found me beautiful, but when we actually were together, when the topic of pornography came up, when the topic of
sex of any kind,
sex of any kind came up, I had this kind of puritanical
Yeah.
and sex negative approach.
And cruel and yeah.
Yeah.
Humiliating me and shaming me and so on.
So,
That I should be ashamed of myself. Go on, yeah.
Yes, it's fucked up, but yeah, I'm trying to talk it through. I'm trying to just talk about it, how this is so awful for Isel to live with. That, yeah, the reality is, okay, and I think this is partly, I've talked about this recently with Isel in a totally different context in which I was a jerk to him. We were on a subway, and I was talking about this distinction between being a good girl and a bad girl, and how people perceive you. Are you a good girl or are you a bad girl?
Right.
Okay, so I grew up Christian. I'm sorry, let me say this. I grew up Christian. I played the violin. I was dorky in a lot of ways. I'm just being honest with you. I didn't do cheerleading. I didn't do dancing. There are different things that like are associated with being a sexy person, okay? And I didn't do those things. I did things that were associated with being dorky, okay? And at the same time, even when I was a teenager, like I was doing bad things, like
porn,
bad girl
that's the
things.
thing. You were taking naked pictures of yourself.
Okay,
Just,
but even before that, like I'm talking about,
sure,
like
sure.
yeah, I'm talking about adolescence and in my teenage years. No, the way that I went about things, like I did have when I was 14, there was a guy who was 18.
Oh, that's right.
We had this relationship,
this weird love affair
through MySpace. So like he had been sending messages to me over MySpace, and we had phone calls.
You're right. That's probably the beginning of this addiction.
Yeah,
this
we had phone calls in which he, said I'm so beautiful. Oh, he says things like, I was in the car with my friends and we were listening to this ambient music and I thought of you and your angelic face and
so that was you from 14 to 15 approximately.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I've just been reading the text, but that you still have that behavior. Like not with me, but with them when you cheat on me. That's you're reverting to your 14-year-old fucked up self. To be blunt.
Yeah. I live with this dichotomy where I know what the persona was that would make my parents proud of me, that would make the world think that I was a good person, a normal person, a healthy person, and then what I did behind everybody's back and what I was doing in my secret private life.
Right.
I started this from a young age, and that guy, whenever he saw me, we went to the same high school. He pretended he didn't even see me. And
probably because he didn't want to go to jail. Just saying, if you were 14, he could go to jail for that. But go on, yeah.
Yeah, and there was so I was in choir, and my choir at the end of the year there was like end of the year concert, and sorry, this I think is relevant. I hope so. There was an end of the year concert, and anybody who comes to the end of the year concert who like used to be in the choir can join in on this last song, right? So he was waiting around in the crowd. I saw him, and then after the show, he like during much of that he acted like he didn't see me, but then like I came up to him and he was just a total jerk to me, and he like the way that he spoke to me was thinking that I had gone and found another boyfriend or something. He assumed I was some whore or something. I don't know. It was just a really weird interaction, and and that
was in effect your first sexual experience.
Yeah,
was being sexually exploited by a man who is technically a pedophile. Just say he's 18, you're 14, but legally speaking, right? He's committing a sex crime, cajoling you into this kind of online, primarily text based and voice clip based romance, mostly based on flattery. Right?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
And you're still fucked up about it. It's still outside of this relationship. You have so many orgasms in this relationship. You have so much sex in the relationship. And it's an open relationship. So you can have other sexual partners. We can do 3 ways and 4 ways. You can have sex with other men if you play by the rules. But you wanted to break the rules to still experience this form of teenage sexuality that was at one time normal for you. And you were addicted to it. 8:30 a.m., midnight. I'm sorry, I've got to say this. There were days where you had, like, a traumatic phone call from your family. We won't specify. You had a phone call where you're weeping, and I'm consoling you. Like, it's like the worst news you could get over the phone. You have this long, terrible phone call with your relatives about a family tragedy. and you were masturbating with this guy. You were filming your own pussy, and he's filming his dick. You were filming it immediately before and planning to do it immediately afterward. I'm holding you. I'm consoling. I'm your boyfriend. I don't know this is happening. You're cheating on me. That like you're sneaking away to the bathroom or some other room or something, right? Like that sounds like addiction. Like if you're sneaking away to smoke a cigarette before and after this family tragedy phone call, like it's that real.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So look, my perspective.
I'm so sorry. I wish Isel had been with somebody who was a lot better, a lot more psychologically normal.
But the irony is, it didn't have to be this way. You could have been honest with me. You could have shown me your real face and not your mask. There was a time when I was bedridden ill in the same bed the audience sees here, and I was only sleeping 2 hours a night. I was so sick. I was so unhappy. You could have sent me videotape of yourself naked the same way you did. I've seen the videotapes now. I've seen exactly the videotapes. You could have sent that to me to say, hey, I want you to know I love you. You're special to me. For the moment, it's a long-distance relationship. Like for a couple of months, you're out of town. And you could have even said, I want you to masturbate watching this video, not random pornography on the internet. Here's why. I would have been 100% appreciative, 100% positive. You could have had the attitude towards me from the beginning of the relationship. You are this kind of freaky chick who has experience filming herself doing hardcore porn. So you've never done for me. You never do any of the stuff for me or with me that you did for and with the other guys you were cheating on me with, and that you did for and with the one boyfriend you had before me. You only had one before me, right? Never. With me, you were this punitive, frankly narcissistic, cruel, like fake prude. You're pretending to be someone. And I'm just saying, like the question is open to you. Which one is the mask? Which one is the face? But I feel that I know. I feel that I know what's real and what's fake.
Huh. I'm sorry, this is I'm at a loss for words.